Hey guys, Bolt here. This was supposed to be last week's Wednesday video, but we get caught up with a few things called the public domain of Steamboat Willie. Anyways, let's get into this. So, as the title suggests, this is Help Wanted 2, a theory. So basically, Help Wanted 2 came out. I can't play it because it needs a higher PC and a higher VR system, which I have in neither. And I also am not good at video capping my VR yet. I've recently got on Twitch and I've recently got this face cam. I am not messing with anything for a few weeks. That being said, let's get into this concept. It is the fact that basically everything you see in this game isn't too big. It's basically what it suggests. It's Help Wanted 2. The biggest part of this game was to cover a lot of the concepts that didn't get covered in the first part, which is mostly Sister Location and a Pizza Sim, which were two big things. The only sad thing, a lot of people probably, I didn't see too much complaints, but I remember a lot of people wanted to do the customization. Like in Pizza Sim, you were able to place your things. So I think what a lot of people wanting was you can get the arcade games and all that, and as you get them, you can play them and put them inside Pizza Sim. And we didn't get that. We got just it gets placed for us. There's only a few things that get placed, and you can't play anything but what's in the levels and Princess Quest 4. And really, this story isn't even that big. It looks like it's just the teachings of Bonnie Bro is what the theorists are calling it. And it's basically just the Bite of 83 helper that had the Bonnie mask. So it was one of Michael's friends that helps him put Crying Child in Fredbear's mouth. And basically the whole theory goes that Bonnie Bro is Cassie's father, and he got into being a Faz technician, and basically she knows the in and outs of the Pizzaplex because of her father. So she has a basic, like, I think she probably got early access on the log ride, and it sadly didn't get operational. She knows a bunch about the company. She knows about some of the technology, including a Faz wrench. So it's just like, it's basically just like, hey, this is kind of a previous telling to Cassie's character. And a thing that Fajan actually pointed out is that there is a sticky note in the mask. Like, if you have Vanny mask in Ruin on, there's a sticky note you can find where it says that basically it's like the father putting on the fridge, hey, it's like he left food or like money for food, and then he'll be back soon. So he left to go do something, and he made sure Cassie was left with something. But that's it. That seems like it was the end of her father's contact with her. And it looks like from what we see in Help Wanted 2 is that he went down to figure out a mystery. And this mystery is connected to what, I think Fajan's also saying this, and it's actually sounding amazing, is that it sounds like he is the guy from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, the AR app. He was the guy in the emails talking to Vanessa about the red flags. I think he had, either he was you have to, for that theory to work. Basically, he was being flirty with Vanessa. When Vanessa gets taken over, he starts looking into it. He starts wanting to, because he's got that connection with Vanessa, he wants to save her now that he understands a little bit of the understanding. In the security breach, you find certain letters, and one of them that kind of connects to that character is Red Flag, is the title of it, and it says that character was going around to the first two. It was the first two, I believe. I think so. Or something like that. It's like he goes around finding the princess quest. He wants to save the princess, but because of the princess, he couldn't find the third princess quest, or he wasn't found worthy to save the princess. And in Help Wanted 2, not Mr. Hippo, the mystical hippo finally says, "You are ready, you have your tool, go do your purpose." And basically the purpose is to play the final Princess Quest 4, and you're basically trading off your Phaz Technician Vanny mask with an eye, and you take the Glitch Trap plushie to a Vanny, and she gets rid of it. So it looks like basically Help Wanted 2 is the middle of Security Breach, and it's like a sequel to the background story that was happening in Special Delivery and what's it called? What is it called? Security Breach. Security Breach and in Special Delivery had that backstory of that character trying to help and actually talk to Vanessa about her issues and of the takeover, and him being the father of Cassie would make it a prequel to that. Well, not prequel because it's a prequel. So it basically just sounds like he was set up for a while, because it's like Special Delivery, you have him being the red flag guy. He can see that Vanessa's searching up bad things. He's kind of like getting suspicious about what's happening. And then in Security Breach, we get some small details that he was trying to free her with the Princess Quest mini games. And then like with Ruin, he has Cassie as a daughter, but he has to leave to do something important, which is to free Vanessa. And another thing that I think we do have his name. I think it's Lewis. If he is the red mark guy, the red flag guy, because in the secret tapes, the retro disc you can find with the Roxy eyes, there is a certain during the therapy sessions, they ask Vanessa about connections with other people, and she says that one person in this other department is funny. And I believe it's just like you give him a name, you give him a purpose, you give him family and a main connection, and you make him even bigger and actually deep-rooted in this by making him the friend of Michael from all the way back in '83. So I think it's a very big, rooted, and it looks like it's a big setup. What it looks like they're doing, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting, you're over here now. It looks like what they're doing in the recent games is that there's all these roots that you can't figure out the details and you can't understand what they're telling there, but it looks like all the smaller details are finally coming together to explain the Mimic. Glitch Trap isn't... So Mimic 1 is the robot we find at the end of Ruin. Mimic 2 is Glitch Trap, basically. And it's basically a virus that infects everything in the Pizzaplex and anything Fazbear... I'm trying to remember what it's called. Freddy Fazbear's Entertainment. Fazbear Entertainment. And it looks like just like there's always been a glitch, there's always been a robot, and there's always been this guy in the background who's had this connection that's slowly been sprinkled through the stories and eventually has an end goal. Then you gotta wonder, where's Chica and Freddy from that thing? Because it's like, now you gotta explain to me what happened to those two. Because it sounds like either Bonnie Bro was the best friend of Michael, which would give him a reason to be hunted down by William, or like the huge connection and would understand why we don't worry about the Freddy and Chica friends. But actually, let me look that up real quick. I did not want to do that. Fnaf ruin lunch boxes. So the reason why I'm looking at the lunch boxes is they may give us a description for that. You're not making this easy, are you? Oh boy. Oh, and can I look up? So we knew that the AR Bonnie lunchbox explains about the father. It doesn't tell me what they say. That's what I'm trying to look for. And I'm back to getting stuck on oh wait, let me look up AR lunch boxes. Can you like read through them all? Oh, that's okay. That's just one thing. That doesn't help me. But anyways, so it's just what I'm thinking is that we're getting a story about the best friend of Michael, and this is basically just his interests have fallen him back into the hole that he left back in '83. And we may get the Freddy and Chica characters as well. Or they might just be like a throwaway, like, hey, these people have been dealt with for a while now. Or these were some of William Afton's victims in the early days. We don't know. We don't really get a explanation. The only things I can probably get from it was maybe the lunch boxes to kind of understand. But reason why a lot of people are basically connecting is that the only mask you can find in Ruined are the Foxy mask, which is Michael's mask, and the Bonnie Bro mask, which we see at the end of Help Wanted 2 that says it's familiar. And in Ruin, Cassie quotes, "What happened to you?" So it looks like the father, in summary, Lewis or Bonnie Bro, basically, he helped the Bite of 83 happened. He was probably Michael's best friend, which, doesn't help his case with, eventually coming in and getting dealt with by the spirits and other forces and William. Later down the line, he becomes so invested in Vanessa, or with he probably was given a job because he knew an Afton, and he basically got booked into the company, or he followed Vanessa in, and basically he got so invested in Vanessa that he eventually got so caught up in this, like, he got addicted to saving the princess. So when it comes to finally having the chance to save her, he goes for it. Of course, he's not gonna be completely like, screw my daughter, I'm gonna go. He basically is like, here's what you're gonna need for a while, I'm gonna go. And he didn't expect. It seems like there's two things that happened here. He did free Vanessa, but in the end, he gets stuffed into Mapbot, which is now Maskbot, who gives Cassie the mask that we used during Ruin. And basically, he doomed his daughter to play the same game with the last remains of the virus, which is basically, Helpy is the icon of the virus. We see through Ruin, he has a little marking and his eyes get turned to different colors. If you get the Princess Quest ending, he no longer shows up on the projector screen. He says that his job is done, like he's in vacation mode when it comes to you getting the bad ending with the Faz Force. And that's really what it looks like. And then my other thing that I've noticed is that they are already like mentioning what happens in the trilogy of books, the Silver Eyes trilogy, where it mentions that William wanted to be a part of the original spirits, like he wanted to forever have that as a trophy, so he wanted to be a part of them and have that connection. So he was trying to melt and take all the spirits and kind of conjoin all together. I think it was in the third book that, like... So in the first one, he gets spring-locked. Spoilers, by the way. He gets spring-locked into Springtrap. Then in part 2, he's Springtrap. He wants to stay alive as an immortal. But in part 3, he regrets being a part of it because he thinks it's too painful. And he eventually gets his body back, and then he wants to combine with the originals. And I think that's what the Faz Force might be hinting at, is that William or the Mimic 2 wants to bring back all 6 victims and just smash them together. Because in Help Wanted 2, it always has, it's the theme of the 5 missing people from 85 in Charlie. But anyways, I gotta go do a few more videos, but that's my little theories. Is basically just Bonnie Bro / Lewis is the red flag guy from AR. He comes and tries to help Vanessa in Security Breach to try to help her. And in Help Wanted 2, he does help her, but gets killed or made into something else, or gets transferred into the Maskbot somehow. And basically he starts a problem with his kid now. So basically it's just like the big parts of this franchise are now, the small little roots are growing into giant, thick branches that we can see now, because it's all vined through history of it. So it's just like, if Bronny Bro is Cassie's dad and who we played in Help Wanted 2, it's just, that is so far back. That is like at the start of this franchise's timeline. And the other thing that we have to mention is that in Dreadbear DLC, which I have and I'm willing to play when I get going on the VR, or I figure out how to play Help Wanted in an easier way. In Dreadbear, they mention a fall festival, which is dated before 83, and it looks like something bad happened, but it inspired. What happened at that fall festival inspired the future of Fazbear Entertainment, or whatever happened there could have gave William the reasoning. It doesn't have to inspire just Fazbear Entertainment. The fact that everything burns, like, that's the whole thing about the fall festival. Everything that goes around the fall festival burns. So I believe there is some kind of like something bad happened, and it may have given William like a bloodlust or something. But anyway, so we got the fall festival. We got maybe William coming back and trying, or Mimic 2 trying to be a part of the original 6 spirits. The 6 spirits are probably still lingering somehow, or they all got put to rest finally, which probably not going to happen because this series is weird. We have Bonnie Bro being a part from 83 all the way to Ruin as all these different parts. Then we have the Mimic, who's just like basically this person. That's probably where the Mimic's from, is from the Fall Festival. Mimic was probably meant to be set up for the Fall Festival. Everything went awry, so they stuck him down there. The Fall Festival could have had... Fall Festival usually has things like gestures and stuff around where I am. So it's very possible that carnival theme, he could have been a part of that, and he was supposed to kind of like be their first set, but they dumbed it down for future. So Mimic probably got just stuck down there after Fall Festival. And it's probably just like his origin story. Anyways, see ya. Bye-bye.